I'm living for later, living for later. Whoa,
Hello. I want to conclude my discussion on Joseph and the four dreams that he had and just his response of obedience. You can click on the link above to watch my videos that I did on the first and second dream that Joseph had. But today I want to focus on his third and fourth dream. So let's jump right into it. In his third dream, Matthew 2:19, we see that Joseph is warned or told that he could return back to Israel because Herod was dead. And I love this because, again, in verse 21, what does Joseph do? He immediately returns to Israel. After he gets a visit about returning, he does it. He doesn't delay. And when he gets there, he realizes that Herod's son is now ruling, and he was afraid. So he was warned in verse 22, or he was told in verse 22 that he could go to Galilee, and eventually they settled in Nazareth. And that is the last recorded dreams that we have of, Joseph being visited by the angels of the Lord. And, I think it's easy for us to just kind of rush through this story and to read it and, okay, say, yeah, I know the details. But I think we have to pause and we have to really ask ourselves, do we really have this kind of obedience? Do we really have this heart that's so willing to put our reputation to the side, to be willing to be inconvenienced, and whatever God tells us to do, that we are just willing to say, yes, I will do it? And I think what I see here with Joseph is that obedience is a continuous thing. It's not a one-time thing, right? Some of us, we want to say, you know what, God, I obeyed yesterday. I obeyed the first dream that you showed up, and I'm done. I'm tired. Joseph doesn't do that. He obeys every single time, and each request that was made of him, it wasn't an easy thing, but he always said yes. And he never went back to, you know what, I already obeyed God, so I'm done. A lot of us, we grow weary while we're doing well, right? We grow weary in our obeying. We're so tired, and it's like, Lord, you know what? I obeyed the first two times, and I'm done. I'm done with it, God. And we faint in the middle. We don't get to the finish line, and we miss out on the promises of God. As a parent, if let's say, use an example. If today was Tuesday, and I called my child downstairs and said, do this and this and that, and he or she looks at me and say, well, I obeyed yesterday, so I opt out today of obeying. I would look at that child like they were crazy. And as a matter of fact, that has happened. They may not have said it in those words, but it's kind of like, you know what? I'm good today. I'll pass on the obedience thing. And of course, there are consequences that comes with that in the natural. And so is true, right? With our relationship with God. A lot of us, we again faint in the middle, and we're like, you know what, God, I can't carry this thing all the way through. I'm tired of obeying. And sometimes because we don't see what we want to see, or we don't see the promises manifesting, we're just like, forget it, God, I'm done obeying you, and we get angry. And that's such a childish approach, and we end up missing out, right? So I want to encourage you, don't faint in the middle. Continue on. Obedience is a continuous process, and I'm here to tell you that it's not a once and for all thing. And until the day you take your last breath and stand before Jesus, you're going to have to you're always called to another level of obedience. It's always something that's out there that you're going to have to do. So there's no such thing as I fulfilled my quota, I've obeyed enough. You continue on, right? So I want to encourage you to just continue on obeying, no matter how difficult it may seem. If you are growing tired, pray and ask the Lord to give you the strength to just have a made-up mind, to say, you know what, God, that's it. I'm just, what they call it, I'm a ride or die. I'm just going to go all the way with you. There's no backing out. Whatever you tell me, wherever you lead me, God, I'm going to say yes, because I know that you are absolutely faithful even when I am without faith, that you will lead me, that you will guide me, that you will never steer me in the wrong place. And when I say yes to you, that's the best yes that I could ever give, because it's always going to work out on my behalf and ultimately bringing you the glory. So I just want to encourage you to just keep on keeping on.